Hello, my name is Duncan Foley and this is tutorial booklet 2 for beginners in FlexSim. We're going to be using FlexSim 2020 today, so where possible I'll try and remind myself to tell you if there's any difference between 2018 and 19. What we're going to learn to do is how to access and modify object properties, how to add a team of operators, how to add a forklift truck. So we're going to do a bit of transportation and a little bit about the statistics and what that FlexSim can create. So we're carrying on from tutorial booklet 1, and we're going to start adding some operators to transport objects. We're going to introduce the concept of a dispatcher as well. The best way to think of a dispatcher is a boss that sits in his office and tells the workers to do everything. So the queue might be changed to request an operator to take a box from the queue and transport it to the processors. This will be done by the queue sending a message to the dispatcher and say, please can you send either operator 1 or 2 to pick up a box and transport them. So the dispatcher is sort of the decision place. So we're going to be connecting that up. We're going to be looking at how to use transport for the queue. This is going to create a lot more connections, but because you can notice here the connection is not from the left or the right, so it's not an input, nor is it an output. It's a center port connection, so it's coming from the bottom. So just looking at this diagram, we can see it looks like there's a center port connection to the dispatcher. So it looks like the queue is going to request transport for the box to go to processors 1, 2, and 3. But we also notice that the processors 1, 2, and 3 have a center port connection in, and the reason for that is we're going to use the operators to stand there and operate the machines. So we're going to go down a little bit, and then we're going to move the sink a little bit further out and put a queue in, and we're going to use a transporter forklift truck to transport objects from the conveyor queue to the sink. And then we're going to run the module. Then what's going to happen is we're going to notice things. So it looks like here that processor 3 is waiting for an operator to come along and do it. You can just about see a blue box there. So a box has been dropped off, but the operators look as though he's dropped off and he's gone somewhere else to process a box on the other machines. So we've got this blockage around the processor. Then we're going to add a dashboard, and we're going to look at some of the different features within the dashboard that you can get. And we're going to put a little bit of text in there and stuff and data. It's quite a long tutorial, but we should be fine. So let's go to FlexSim. Okay, so here we are at FlexSim. I'm just going to change the views, have a look. Reset view. Just zoom out a bit so we've got a absolute square on view there. Just tilt it a little bit, feel it a little bit nicer there. So we need this sort of decision, the boss who makes the decisions, and we need 2 operators. Remember, you can hold the F key down if you want to repeat something. So let's connect the queue to the dispatcher using an S key, the S key for a center port connection. And then let's connect the operators to the dispatchers using an A key. There we go.
And finally, we will connect the processors to the dispatcher using an S key again. And with the thing about the S key is if you look at the icon for the S key on the queue, you can see that these are directional, but the S key is just a square, so it doesn't have a direction. So let's have a look what that looks like on the general tab. So we've got input port from the source, output port to the two processors, and a center port to the dispatcher. Yeah. Because it's not directional, it doesn't matter which one you click on first. You just hold down the S key and click and go to the dispatcher for all three. Okay, looks quite busy now. So let's open up the queue. And we want to go to the floor tab. And we want it to request transport. So we want one of these operators to walk up to the queue, pick up a box and take it. So we requesting transport, use transport, and it's going to take the transport from the center object. And we know that the center object is the dispatcher. So it will send a message to the dispatcher, which will then tell the operator, whichever operator is free to go and pick up the box. Okay, so let's apply an OK. So let's click on the, there we go, processor. And the processor time is defaulting to exponential 30. Which is fine, but what we need to do is click on the user operator for the processor. We need one operator to do this. And if you look at what happens when you click on there, the pick the operator comes into option, and it's another center port. So it's using the center port connection again to call up an operator. So we're on processor 1, we can go down at the bottom and click over to processor 2, click on use operator, go to 3 and use operator. Now it's OK. Reset and let's just run it. So the boxes are going to the right operators, to the right processors every now and again, and we gain a yellow box. Frustratingly, and we'll sort this out in another tutorial, what's happening is the operator is taking the box to the processor, and then it's doing everything in order that's created. So when he's, for example, if he's picked up a box from the queue, he's walking over to processor 2 with the box, and a new box is created before he's got there. Imagine this list of jobs for this operator to do. The next thing in the list is to go and get that red box. Even though common sense says, well, you're at processor 2, it's going to ask you to run the process, but the logic at the moment is set that it does everything in order, everything in discrete events. So what we'll do in a new tutorial, we'll look at how to make the operator stay there, because logically it's a waste of its time to walk back, pick up the red box, take it over there when it should really have stayed. So let's just carry on running, just make sure everything seems to be going okay. The conveyors look very, very fast. They tend to default to very fast, and I do like to see them flowing. So I've just clicked on one of the conveyors, click on the little button there, and it's 60 meters per minute. I'm just going to change that really slowly, so I can see things flowing down there. And click OK, and I'm just going to click onto conveyor 2, and normally FlexSim copies that straight across, so that seems to have worked, so it's okay. So let's reset to make sure that changes Okay, so you can see a little bit nicer now. Right, let's stop, reset. Let's delete the sync. We're going to put a queue in there. So let's go and get a queue, put it there. And double click on it. Let's click on there, and it's called a Conveyor Queue. Apply and OK. Let's put a sync a little bit further away, right up here. And let's connect using an A key, conveyor to the queue, and another A key from the queue to the source. Sorry, the sync. Let's get a transporter in now, a forklift truck. Because it's another transporter, it's connected to the object using an S key. Now let's double click on that queue. And we need to, hopefully you're getting the idea now, we need to go to the floor tab. We've already connected the forklift truck to the center port, and so we can click on there. And apply and OK. Let's reset and run. What I think's happening is this is running so fast, you can't see it running. Let's have a look how fast it's going. Again, it's going very fast, and I'll just slow it down for just so we can see it moving around. So reset and run again. Yeah, I have got it at a quite old pace as well. It's going. So, right. So we've got quite a lot of things happening here. We've got quite a lot of information we can glean from this. So stop. So let's create a dashboard. There we've got our dashboard now. That is from the previous tutorial. Let's just delete that. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to go to the conveyor queue, which is there. We get the quick properties, expand the statistical data. So we've got the content. So we want to know the information regarding the content of that queue, the current content and how does it build up. So let's get a pin to dashboard. And we want content versus time. Ooh, lost it there. I think it's important to make sure that you give these appropriate names. So this we know is the conveyor queue. Click apply. Say OK. Looks a bit busy that. I'm just gonna take that off. Okay, so if I reset and run, speed it up a bit so we can see some data happening. There we go. Okay, so we can see objects are queuing normally 1, going up to 2. Does it get any worse? No, it's not so bad. It might get worse if the transporter was slower or the conveyors were faster. So, for example, if the conveyor is currently running at 0.5 if I just crank that up to, let's double that speed and see what happens. Just check it's bounced over to another of the conveyors. Yeah, it has. Reset run. So my conveyors now are running twice as fast. Can the transport keep up with it? It seems to be doing a fine job. It's going up to 2, but it's okay. It's okay. That's kind of interesting. So that's a conveyor queue. Let's just stop our model, reset. It might be interesting to know what's happening at the other side of the queue. So I'm going to pin another one, and this is just the queue at the beginning. So I'm just going to leave that as Q1. Apply. Reset run. Build up. So everything's reasonably, we seem to be handling everything. Getting up to 4 in the queue, but that's not so bad. Let's stop our modeling now and reset. And we'll look at some of the work in progress options. So rather than just selecting an object, we can, you notice if you're in the 3D view here, because I've clicked into the model window, the library, the standard library we used to is there. If we click in the dashboard, the library changes. So what I'm looking for is a work in progress versus time graph. So let's click on that. And it's asking which objects do we want to be part of this graph. So click on the plus sign and select objects. And I want the 2 queues. Where are they? There we are. That queue and that queue. What I could have done, I'll just delete these. So an alternate way of doing that. You can use the little selection option there. Move it sideways and select it there. And apply and OK. So we've got a work in progress versus time for those. Let's see it's running. Not particularly stunning, this graph at what we've just created. But it's not telling us almost nothing. Oh, nothing. Where's my mouse? Okay, so that wasn't particularly helpful for our model. Now it's like a state time chart. Where are they? If you're struggling to find what anything, you can type it in the top, state. So state time. Actually, I kind of saw it beforehand. Where are we? State time. Bar chart. So I'm going to drag that in there. Let's have a look at what this does. Let's add all the processes. So let's just reset so I don't accidentally select them. So I'm going to click on that one. that one, and that one. And say apply, and OK. Just drag that in there. We could just make them bigger so it all fits on. So reset run. So we can see average stay time. Is there anything else we can offer there? Settings. We can increase the display, showing the columns, object average stay time. So you might want some more information there, but I don't know if it'll help that much. No, it doesn't. So let's have a look. Right. Right, now see what our operators are doing. So let's stop the model. Click on our operator, operator 1, and go and look at our quick properties. So we've got the state here. Let's click on the dashboard. And let's look at the bar chart. Starting to get a bit crowded in here. Let's just move it a bit out. You know, what we might do is change the view. See if this helps a little bit. Give me a little bit more room. Might have to shrink this down just a little bit. Okay, so this is for operator 1. So operator 1, apply, okay. No, it's so what we've got here is different colors. Let's just reset and run. So we've got green utilized, blue when it's idle. So we can find out if we zoomed up a little bit. Live data, it's traveling when it's got something loaded and stuff. So there's quite a lot of information you can glean from that. Let's get the other operator. So that's operator 1, there's operator 2. So let's click on operator 2. State, bar chart. Double click on it. Operator 2. Apply. And say OK. Reset and run. So having a second operator, you can see that is idle 37% of the time. It's quite utilized a lot less than operator 2. So what would happen if we created a third operator? So let's just go in here, drag our new operator into the scene. There he is. Operator 3, connect him using an A key. Remember, this is directional, so it's got to go from the dispatcher to the operator. With the operator selected, let's do a state time again. Double click, and let's change that to operator 3. Apply and OK. So let's run our model. Adding the operator is basically, you can see that it's what's happening is operator 1's always being called, and if operator 1 is busy, it calls operator 2, and if operator 2's busy and operator 1 is busy, it calls operator 3, which just doesn't seem that particularly fair. What we can do as well, we could get more information about things like the processor time, so we could expand the dashboard to get more information about things like the state time, how long objects are staying on that operator, content. So let's do a quick one for this, state time versus that. I sort of don't think, no, that's not going to help us that much because we've got a lot of it here. What we could do is maybe expand that and see if it can offer us anything else. No, it's giving us as much information as it can. So let's reset and run. So the average stay time, and you can see that the queues, the first queue is building up, and then it's managing to take control and reduce it. The second queue is reasonably basically there's one. Every now and again there's two objects in. So you can see that this dashboard can be very, very useful to you. I recommend you have a good play around with it, see what works for you. Right, just going to stop that, reset. I'm going to close my dashboard for now. Just spin it back round to something that looks normal to me. Okay, there we go. We're going to do add some 3D text and stuff. So let's go down here and we'll find the 3D text. So here we go. So we're going to add some visual tools and stuff on. So let's get some text, put it on here. Okay, we've got the text on now, just going to double click it. Change the name to text one, might as well. Sorry, it should be there. There we go, found it. Display object statistics. And what I want to do now is select an object. So let's click on that. And we're going to get the data from the average stay time of the queue. So let's go and find the queue. Conveyor queue. And well, we're looking for average stay time. Average stay time of the queue. So this is going to. So it's going to do. The text is going to change based on the content of the queue. Apply, and it's updated now. You can change the position, the heights and stuff. Let's see if we can rotate it 90, see if that makes it look a bit better. So let's move this window out of the way. Not convinced. Let's change the height to 4. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. And let's apply it and say OK. So if we reset and run, you can see, I mean, they looks like the decimal point is quite keen there, but it does have a good display. So if you need to explain something, you can add all that information in. Let's just slow this down, it's going to be crazy speed.
yeah, so there we go. So that is tutorial 2. We're going to move on to tutorial 3. So we are going to need this this tutorial. So don't delete it, save it, and thank you for listening.